Memento Mori Stories, a podcast that reminds us that we will die and that celebrates the deeply personal and sometimes whimsical ways we create to remember death and cherish life. How we bridge the gap, the sometimes deep, painful, and soul-searching gap between life and death. How we remember those we have loved, the things we keep, the phrases we use, the foods we prepare, the places we hold dear. This is your invitation to listen generously to one such story. A Memento Mori story.
When I turned 50, I was given my great aunt's college graduation ring. And my great aunt was Erma Wilson Shell. She graduated from Hunter College in 1930. To put that in perspective, women didn't get the vote in the United States until 1920. So it was really a big deal to be a woman and go to college. She'd grown up in Flushing, Queens, New York, and I can remember when I was, well, first of all, we would always see her at Christmas or sometime between Christmas and New Year's with her husband as part of our holiday celebrations. But I can remember when I was in high school, I was allowed to take the train into New York by myself, and she would meet me at Grand Central, and I would spend the weekend with her. She took me to see my first opera. It's not that I'm a big opera fan, much better than I thought, and it made a great impression on me. We would go and explore interesting restaurants. I remember she took me to a Russian restaurant in the bottom of the Citicorp building. And I also remember one time we went and walked through Chinatown, and we had lunch at a Chinese restaurant, and then we went to a Chinese bakery. And neither one of us knew what anything was that we were looking at, but she said, let's just buy one of everything, and we did. So she was great fun, but she was very intellectual, and she was, for her entire life, was a very active member of the American Association of University Women, and she would write research papers and present them to her group. She also worked, even though she was married, she never had kids, she worked, and she was in the accounting department of a Fortune 100 publishing company. So I loved my Aunt Erma. I loved her intellectual curiosity. I loved that she was so cosmopolitan within her city of New York. And I loved that she was interested in me. So when I was given her ring for my birthday, I was thrilled. Unfortunately, she was a tiny little thing, and the ring it's made by Tiffany. It was designed by Tiffany's, and it's solid gold, and it has wonderful, intricate designs on it. But what that means is a jeweler can only enlarge it so far without ruining the structure of the ring. So it's not something that I can wear on a regular basis, fortunately. And I also was thinking, she graduated the class of 1930. The stock market crash was the fall of 1929. What a big deal that must have been to come up with the money. Even though she probably still had the money, it must have been such an atmosphere of anxiety with the business situation in the country. It must have taken a lot of thought to spend the money on this ring. I feel so blessed having it. I feel lost, but I also feel like she's close to me. She represents that it's okay to be a strong and intelligent professional woman, and that's a huge role model for me. So I've always sort of felt that she was still around me.
Thanks for listening. Compassion and listening are so valuable in bringing healing to our lives after loss. So, how about you? Do you have a story about something that reminds you of a special someone, a beloved pet, an event, or a place that brings comfort? Please contact Memento Mori Stories through this podcast or our Facebook or Instagram pages. I would love to hear from you.